Hello all, welcome back to Dr. Kala Edu. Today we are going to discuss the continuation of that chromosomal mutation. So last video we were discussing about that chromosomal mutations are of two types. One is numbers and one in change in structure. So chromosomal number or chromosomal structure. So we are in detail with chromosomal number. So there is another division here as aneuploidy and euploidy. So aneuploidy we have completed in the last video. I have explained everything about hyper and hypoploidy, and this video we are going to discuss in detail about euploidy and then significance of ploidy, right? So what is euploidy? So in this aneuploidy we used to tell us trisomy. You should get the difference with that, okay? So this aneuploidy is divided into hyper and hypoploidy. There we used to tell us trisomy, monosomy, like that, but tetrasomy, pentasomy. But here when it comes to euploidy, we are explaining as an haploid, diploid or polyploidy. All the deviations here we are going to tell it as ploidy and not as somes, right? So here in euploidy it is divided into three types. So first thing is haploid, diploid and then polyploid. Haploid, diploid, we all know it's an irregular condition which is present in an organism, alright? So there is no doubt in that. So haploid condition, that will be in that gametic formation. And diploid is a normal somatic cells. So normally we have our somatic cells also of diploid. So 2n conditions. Chromosome occurs in pairs. So till here okay. But here we have monoploidy. In haploid we have monoploidy and it is represented as X, right? So in haploid it can be converted as monoploid. So it should be noted that we can tell that haploid is different from monoploid, but sometimes the chromosomal number of both haploid and monoploid will be the same. There is no difference in the number of the chromosomes which is present due to this monoploidy. But here the haploid and diploid conditions we come across regularly in generation after generation. That is a natural process. Haploid will be in gametic stage and diploid is in somatic growth. So it is running towards next generations. But monoploidy exists only when the ploidy is there. If there any changes in the chromosomes or the numbers, there this ploidy is there, monoploidy is there at that condition, okay? So here when the organism it exhibits ploidy condition, then we are telling as an monoploidy, okay? So what is the thing is, in a true diploid, if an organism is a true diploid, there is no disturbance over there. If it is a true diploid, monoploid and haploid chromosome number are always the same. That is the thing I told you earlier. If it is a true diploid, then always the haploid number and the monoploid number of that particular chromosome will be the same. But rather than, again I am telling, the condition is wherever this haploid is present, monoploidy is not present. Only at the ploidy time. What is the time of ploidy? There is a chance of chromosomal disturbances, that is addition or deletion. Here that addition. So when it exhibits only, monoploidy is there. And one more thing is, monoploidy can be haploids, right? Monoploidies can be haploids, but none of the haploids cannot be monoploid, because haploids are naturally, it's from generation to generation. So none of the haploids cannot be monoploid. It's very, very important. So none of the haploids cannot be monoploids. This is the major difference between here. Okay, right. So next, now it is clear. So diploid is normal, what CSN. somatic growth number of the chromosome, and haploid is gametic formation. So here the main thing is polyploidy. So what is polyploidy? So polyploidy is the condition where n number of chromosomal numbers are added. So in this condition there will be a two basic sets of chromosomes, we all know, but in that, with that addition of chromosomes is that polyploidy. So this polyploidy may be of triploidy or tetraploidy. Triploidy we can come across, tetraploidy, pentaploidy, hexaploidy, but if it is more exceeding, sometimes it causes lethality. But when it comes to some of the ploidies, it is very useful for that evolution as well as coming of new plant varieties. It is very helpful. What? Tri, tetra, pentra, hexa, etc. We have so much of ploidies. And one more thing is, these polyploidies we commonly come across in plants naturally as well as what we man-made things. Induced polyploidy is common in plants, but it is very rare in animals. Okay, and another thing is, this polyploidy leads to the origin of new plant species. As of this excess of going ploidy numbers, that is in the chromosomal numbers, sometimes it may lead to the development of new plant species. So here polyploidy is mainly of two types. One is autopolyploidy and another is allopolyploidy. Okay, autopolyploidy. So what is happening in autopolyploidy? So it is auto. So here what is the thing is, here there will be in autopolyploidy, what is the thing is, more than two haploid set of chromosomes. Here more than two haploid set of chromosomes can be induced or increased using this ploidy, but the very important theory here is, within the species there is no crossing of these species. Within the same species this happens. So haploid sets are derived. So this autopolyploidy, the derivation of that particular ploidy of the plant is got it from when two same species of that within that thing crossed, they are going to get more than two haploid sets. This is called as an autopolyploidy. Okay, so in allopolyploidy what is happening is, when two different species are crossed to induce polyploidy, there will be an allopolyploidy. So what is the first thing is, derived from two different species. Here it is in autopolyploidy, they are within the same species. So if it is two different species, what is the condition next? So there is an interspecific crosses. Okay, so obviously if it is two different species, there will be an interspecific crosses. And another doubt you will be having, that if there is interspecific crosses, whatever plants may be can be crossed like that. No, it's not like that. Mostly closely related plants are crossed in this type of interspecific crosses, closely related species. And another thing is, the chromosomal number should be the same. So that only closely related species can be getting crossed in this allopolyploidy, right? So here again we are back to autopolyploidy. So in this polyploidy, how we are getting it? So more than two set of haploid sets within the same species is going to get crossed to get an autopolyploidy. So depending upon that, we are having two types of ploidy here. One thing is autotriploids and autotetraploids. The word itself indicates that here 3 and here it is 4. So autotriploids. So these autotriploids, how it is formed? So they are inducing the cross between a plant which is having an autotetraploidy and then with an diploid plant. Okay, so here a cross is going to be done between a plant which is an autotetraploidy with another plant which is having a normal diploid condition to derive, that is to get autotriploids. Okay, right. So examples here for this autotriploids are seedless watermelon, we have apple, sugar beet, tomato and banana. So banana we all know that banana fruits are very long, and what is the thing? The seeds are as like small black dots in the center. So from this we should know that in autotriploids, seed is not viable. They are highly sterile. All these autotriploids, the main point here is they are highly sterile, right? So mostly these will be of seedless. Okay, so here you see seedless watermelon. So they are highly sterile. Why? They have defective gamete formation. They are having in, what is the problem here is defect in gamete formation. Defect in gamete formation, that is seen in where? Autotriploids, right? This is the point here. And naturally occurred autotriploid is grass, doob grass, right? This is an natural autotriploid. Example for that is scientifically it is Cyanodon dactylon. Cyanodon dactylon is the biological name. Common name is doob grass. In this doob grass, what is the thing is, naturally the autotriploid is present. It is not man induced. All these example what I have given here are man induced. What we have induced polyploidy and formed these type of new varieties. But naturally we have doob grass, that is Cyanodon dactylon. Okay, so next here is autotetraploids. So autotetraploids, what is the thing is number 4, that is, so here 4 will be added, so it is autotetraploid. So 4 copy of its own genome will be present. 4 copy of its own genome. It's an own genome copy of its 4, right? So example for this autotetraploids, it's rye, grapes, alfalfa, groundnut, potato and coffee. I have given you lot of examples. Better you remember 2 examples, which is very important for you to write. Okay, so here you can keep banana, and then naturally here is doob grass, and here is you can keep it potato, grapes, groundnut, like that you can remember it easily. So next it's allopolyploidy. As I said earlier, it is derived from 2 different species. Okay, 2 different closely related species. So hence it is an interspecific crosses. So how they are inducing this allopolyploidy? So there is an chemical name colchicine. So it's very important, you should remember. So this colchicine is induced to get polyploidy in that particular organism. So from where this colchicine is produced? Surprisingly, it is a plant product. So this colchicine is a plant product. It is derived from its part. Okay, but another important thing here is that plant do not exhibit polyploidy. Why? Means they are naturally having this anti-colchicine chemical in that plant itself. So naturally the polyploidy is inhibited in that plant. So the plant name is Colchicinium autumnale. Colchicum autumnale. Okay, so Colchicinium autumnale is the plant from where this colchicine is produced. So here they are giving 2 examples for your reference here. The first example is Raphanobrassica. So this Raphanobrassica is the cross between radish and cabbage. So their number is 18 chromosomal number. I am telling 2n in 2n condition, both of them are having 18, and this experiment was done by an Russian scientist, and his name is Karpatchenko. Okay, he is the scientist who did this experiment. So what his thinking was is, so if the root part is going to be a radish and then the leaf part is going to be a cabbage, then he thought both will be edible. How the plant will look like? Below it will be a radish and above it will be a cabbage leaves. So he thought both will be edible. What is meant by edible? The food we are taking which is good for us is called as an edible. Okay. So what he thought the same, but what happens at the last is it has become vice versa. So the cabbage root is formed and the radish leaf is formed, and he found it to be a failure thing. But the cross is perfectly good, and what he saw is in the F1 generation all the hybrids were sterile. The important thing here in this experiment is that is the thing. F1 generation all the plants were sterile. Whether in F2 generation what he did is he doubled the chromosome. F2 he doubled the chromosome. So when he doubled the chromosome, what happens is it become fertile. Okay, in F1 it is sterile, but in F2 when he doubled the chromosome, the plants become fertile. That is, they can reproduce, but this experiment has gone vice versa according to him. So, and second example what here is triticale. So, first man-made cereal is this triticale. Very, very important. You should remember that first man-made cereal. First man-made cereal. They used to ask in many of the exams. Most of them they will forget it. So, very, very important. So, here in Allopolyploidy, example triticale, first man-made cereal is triticale. So, this triticale, it's depending upon the ploidy level. Okay, they have divided into 3 ploidies here. That is depending upon this triticale, right? So, here tetraploidy, hexaploidy and octoploidy. 3 types is there. Tetra, so how this tetraploidy is derived is by diploid. Okay, by inducing diploid plants, they are getting this tetraploidy. So this tetraploidy generally we are crossing with wheat with rye. Wheat is crossed with rye and they are getting tetraploidy, and hexaploidy also they are crossing wheat and rye. But here what type of wheat is macaroni wheat. Okay, so here what is the thing is they induce macaroni wheat. Macaroni wheat is crossed with rye and it forms a hexaploidy here, and then octaploidy. So octaploidy what we are using here is bread wheat. Okay, so bread wheat is crossed with rye. The bread wheat will be crossed with rye to form octaploidy, and this is the 3 type of ploidy in triticale: tetraploidy, hexaploidy and octaploidy. So what is here? Why wheat and rye? Main thing is this high protein content is there in rye. Sorry, high protein content there will be in wheat. Wheat is having very high protein and rye is having certain amino acids called as lysine. So lysine is present in rye, which is very, very good for health. So both this protein and amino acids is going to be expressed in this next polyploidy level. So hence here it's very, very important that wheat and rye is getting crossed to find triticale. So this is all about polyploidy. I think you will be clear here. Next I will continue with this significance of ploidy. So now the significance of ploidy. So ploidy, they have many advantages, including they help in this evolution also. So the first thing here is more vigorous when compared to normal diploid plants, and they are very more vigorous. What is meant by vigorous? They are very fast. They are very fast in reproduction and everything, growth, all. They are very, very fast. So hence they are very adaptable. So they are very adaptable and more vigorous when compared to normal diploid condition. So second is the thing is, most of the ornamental plants what we look upon in the park and nurseries and many flower shows, we used to see very large differently attractive ornamental plants. All these are from polyploids. So generally autotetraploids, especially the two autotetraploids, in this autotetraploids only we are getting lots and lots of ornamental plant with large attractive flowers. And next is in this autopolyploidy. So generally these type of plants, they have higher water content when compared to the normal diploid plants. So that what happened, so once we uprooted it, after some time it will soon get dry because of this high water content plant, but sometimes it is very useful for us also. And next is aneuploids. When it comes to aneuploids, the phenotypic effects are read very clearly here. So we can see from the parents towards its offsprings, the polyploidy gets very different. So by these ploidies, we are finding the phenotypic effects so that we can find whether there is an loss of that particular character or gain of some new characters, or in some other thing it is a gain or loss. We can read by these ploidies. Example is aneuploidy. So next is alloploidy. So this alloploidy plays a very important role in angiosperms. Most of the angiosperms, they exhibit this allopolyploidy. Why this allopolyploidy? This helps in the evolution of plants. So this helps in this evolution of plants, which is very important for the environment also, so that inventions of development of new species may occur. So this is the significance of ploidy. This is a very important question. So I got erased, but I will give you a sum of what are the important questions here. So here is the significance of ploidy, very important. I think you do remember that you should know the two examples of that. What is the thing is polyploidies. So I have talking about this Raphanobrassica and then triticale, which is an man-made cereal. They used to ask both these examples in 2 marks. And about this ploidies, simple notes on this autopolyploidy or allopolyploidy can be asked in the question point of view. Okay, so I think you will be clear all these with chromosomal mutations in number. So aneuploidy, euploidy, hyper, hypo, euploidy, we have haploid, diploid and then polyploid, right? So next video we will start with the chromosomal structures in the third part of the video. So I think if you have any doubts, you can comment me in the comment section. I will clear your doubts. Thank you. Meet you in the next video.